ietsie. Meneer, jy is langs Arturo daar so. You're laying it next to Willie? Yeah, next to Willie. Then place it around the middle. Dirk in the middle. Jan. Dan Dennis. Dan Dennis en dan Aje, ja.
Dennis Magagane. Please come closer.
Thank God I have you. Yes, it must be logical. Yes, I'm not doing it so we might get kicked out.
Maar allemaal over die huis, ons gaan maar een kort begin. Ons gaan vrij later nog dingen door elkaar. So, ons check a bit Boer on English.
I'll get March study, I promise you I'll get locked up. Embarrassing Afrikaans language if I try.
How about I tell you?
Oh no, that's even worse. That's even worse. Just sweet. I mean, I had to do it when my Afrikaans teacher at school. I think he realized we're all useless. So he used to come in and he just put an Afrikaans TV program on it and he just watch. Go and watch rugby and Afrikaans come in and I'm like, okay, go and watch rugby or something. And he used to, and we don't just swear when he come in because he used to scream at us all the time.
For all our viewers at home, we will start waiting for one or two of our presenters, and they will be here momentarily.
Jy weet van hierdie les, nee. Doesn't matter. It's not that serious.
Okay, goed, welkom bij bietjie Boer. Dit is ons tweede programma dat aanbied in Aja van my kant af. For everybody at home, Aja say thank you to you and your family for hosting us. And we're looking forward to hearing what our experts has to say. We've got Billy here next to me, Billy de Jager. For those of you who don't know Billy, he is the, as what they call you, the chairman of the interbreed judges. And honored to have you here. And the guy who's got a big involvement here at the Rhone, and thank you for joining us today. Next to him, we've got Arturo all the way from Zambia. Thank you for joining us. A guy that's come with farming for a long time, knows how to farm in tough conditions, and always have a plan or two. Next to him, Dirk from Place Control, and we're definitely going to have some difficult questions coming your way, and thank you for joining us. And next to him, Dennis Magagane. Dennis new to the breed and quickly became part of the breed society, and now on the board as well, I think. Dennis, thank you for joining us. And then our guest of honor, Aya, thank you for having us back, thank you for making this possible. And everything so far looks great. Animals looks great, wet but great. We're looking forward to a very, very good auction tomorrow. Then there on the far side, no stranger to Farmspace, Mr. Stichling, Jan Stichling. Jan, thanks for joining us, and we're looking forward to hear what you have to say about the breed and how things are going there in your country of Botswana. Good, I'm going to start here next to me, Billy Litoro in the country. Animals or cattle is what you know. You've played a very, very big part in this herd and being part of the selection process. And my first question starts there. How do you advise someone like the Rhone the AJ and the Rhone stud in choosing bulls, choosing females, knowing what to import and knowing what to use within the herd from a starting base?
Thank you very much, Ines. It's an honor to be here and I appreciate it. Selecting is a long process, something that you can't do quickly. You must think about where your goals are and where you're going. And most of the time, and that's the easy part of working with AJ and Andre, is that we always talk about the cattle for years. We are friends for more than 30 years. So it's more a friendship that we developed into helping and trying to help. I try to advise, and the nice part of it, I've got, because I'm involved with interbreed, all breeds of cattle, it's very easy, not easy, it's never easy to select, but it's easier because you know what the trends are, where we're going. And when we started out in 2006, working with AJ and all of them, we decided that we have to breed a Limousin that's adapted to Africa and Southern Africa. And that's why we decided we have to put a little bit more depth of body, especially we will have to put on more fat on the animals. And from there on, that's where we work from. And we talk about where we're going, what we're doing, what we're thinking we're going to. And I think the last 16, 17 years, what we see now is the combination of working together, thinking about what we try to do, looking at the goals that we want to achieve.
Looking at this catalogue, I had a quick run through the catalogue. You see genetics there from different countries, Canadian, from Canada, you see Australia. How do one choose bringing in semen or embryos for that matter from those countries that you might have to develop? That's a 5-year, 6-year plan just to get to something that, as you say, would adapt to South Africa. How do you choose that semen and from a breeder's perspective, making sure that what you choose is part of where you're going, of your goal?
It's not easy because you've got different types from all different countries. When I'm talking about Australian bull payday, that I did bought a semen in. I went to Australia. My family lives in Australia, and I went there, and I had to look at his mother, and I had to look at 7 of the sisters, beautiful animals. And it was a type of animal we were looking for to be softness, more fat and depth into the reserve. But what happened is it's not only we can use French bulls, Irish bulls, or Canadian bulls, all types. But we look at animals that will bring more diversity into the herd, first of all. But because we've selected for quite a long time for animals the right size, the right type, it's easier for those animals to get into the herd. So we try to achieve something, a lot of things, but we try to have diversity in the herd. But most important, we try to be a type that's well adapted to Southern Africa.
My last question for you, within diversity, creating that diversity, how important is that? A lot of people say, you need to breed to a certain goal, you want that uniformity, but bringing diversity, is that part of the sales plan, making sure that people can come from Botswana, from Zambia, from KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, and buy here and make sure there's something that's going to work on their farm? Is that sort of the idea with diversity, not necessarily big change?
No, it's not like diversity. I don't see in that way that people will buy for. Some people, breeders will buy diverse animals, different bloodlines, to get into new bloodlines, and that's one of the goals we have. But the most important thing is we try and see which of those lines are working well, and it's in the plan that we want to have, and the stud. And it's, I want to say tonight, it's so easy to work with AJ because they do listen, they do a lot of work, and it's not just picking bulls. It's working with the animals and decide where we want to go. It's very, I honestly say, very easy to work.
Thank you very much. If you could just hand it to thank you for speaking to us tonight. For those who know, Turu all the way from Zambia, they farm in different parts of Zambia, so it's not just one plant suits all sort of thing. Explain for those of us who don't know Zambia, what does the meat market or the commercial market look like for the meat industry there?
The beef market in Zambia has changed a lot over the last few years. For the most part, the last 10 to 15 years have been monopolized by a couple of big corporate agricultural firms, Zambia being first and foremost. But now there's been a new interest in commercial beef production in Zambia. I think we've got a lot of interest wherever you can. You've got to try and be involved in this. I think a lot of the producers that are moving to that, we're attempting to do that ourselves as well. And yeah, it's a very low, your margins are very low, so you've got to do volumes, but with that you've got to do quality, and I think that's where the Limousin comes in and plays a very important role. As you know, we farm with a Boer type commercial cow, and we use Limousin bulls on them, and I think that's really working well for us. It's allowing us to produce more productive, efficient animals that are feeding better and that are obviously becoming more profitable for us. So yeah, it's a very interesting industry. I think constantly changing as it is everywhere in the world, but one that's got a lot of exciting potential for all of us, and I think a big part of the Limousin to play going forward.
That F1 cross that you get on the females, do you keep them back, or does that go straight back into, let's go to the slaughter, or do you have a sustainable plan for the females to make sure that you can not just, that you have a way forward with the two breeds?
No, I think our retention rate is fantastic, to be honest, on the Limousin cross heifers. Using them carefully with 4 and cows, the results have been fantastic. We're obviously very strict. We've got to be very strict on the type of bulls we use. It's been something that we haven't compromised on since we started. And I think AJ and the rest of his team here at Rhone have guided us from day one when we started with them on using the correct type of bull. We've luckily aligned very well in our objectives and what we think the correct type of Limousin is for Zambia and for our conditions. And resulting from that, I mean, we're very happy with the progeny that's being produced. We're very happy with the heifers that are being produced, particularly. I mean, obviously, like you say, sustainability is a very important thing for a herd. But using the correct type of Limousin bulls on 4 and cows has definitely yielded very good results, and we think that the heifers are really, really fantastic and are going to take our herd forward in a very good way. So, no, your retention rate is fantastic. Again, goes back to like Billy was saying, correct type of animal. And if you're using the correct type of bull on good cows, the retention rate is fantastic, and we've had very few heifers that have been sucked out as a result.
My last question here from our side. If you look at stud cattle all over South Africa now becoming part of the Southern Africa, we see more than one breed, including the Limousins, started where we start working together outside of the South African borders. I'm getting a sort of perspective that we don't have a choice in the future to start working together, otherwise we might just fall apart. Do you have the same feeling as leaders, as sporting leaders in your environment, that you can't live within your own little sphere, if you want to call it that? Is South Africa needing to make sure that we get part of the larger Southern Africa?
I think it's imperative for everybody, not only South Africa, but like you say, all of us who are in the SADC region to work together. I think it ensures that the cattle industry, the livestock industry is sustainable. It allows for sharing of genetics. It allows for improvements of herds both within South Africa and abroad. It allows for investment in cattle. And yeah, I think it's a win-win for everybody. You can't achieve much if you work alone, and I think we're lucky that as particularly the Limousins, the Boerans that we're involved in, obviously those two breeds, we feel that there's a lot of drive, there's a lot of motivation to work together as a collective, as a community, not only within South Africa but further afield, and I think that's something that's going to benefit everybody going forward. It's going to benefit the livestock sector, it's going to benefit agriculture, and I think it's going to allow for an improvement in the overall cattle population of Southern Africa, which is definitely going to be a benefit for everybody.
Thanks, Abdul. Now we move on to Dirk Oendal from Place Control. Dirk, it's been a tough market in the commercial side from the beginning of the year. We saw a lot of prices drop on the female side. and then later in our feedlots, tough times. But it seems like the stud market just kept going for most part of it. It seems like bull prices, quality animals still went for good money, and that seems to be the trend. Is that what we can look forward to for the rest of the year? Quality stud animals will go price?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Thank you for the opportunity to talk here. I think definitely that's what's going on in this year. That's what's going to happen. I think bulls are going to go good prices. The farmers are out there to buy good quality. They're prepared to pay good prices for good quality. And if it's mediocre, they just won't even look at it. So, yeah, for the rest of the year going ahead, definitely the farmers are looking for good quality stock to go forward. Yes.
In our market overall, we see pressure on grain prices for the farmers. A lot of them didn't get the prices they expected. I expected the prices to climb quite a bit since there's a shortage in most of the southern African countries. Still prices under pressure. Will we see a turn in that affects our meat price directly at the moment? Are you expecting the price to change anytime soon, both on the grain side and the beef side?
Not knowing much about the grain side, I can answer you very good about the calf side, about the weaner side. And the problem at the moment is there's not really money going around. The people aren't buying meat, and we're seeing that in beef as well as in lamb prices, mutton prices. The people are not buying. At the moment, the meat is not going out. And because of that, the feedlots are all full. Whether it be weaner feedlots or store lamb feedlots, they're all full. Nobody is buying in at this stage because the carcasses are not going out. In saying that, the borders that opened in China and the UAE makes it a possibility for more beef to go outside our borders and to be exported. And that will obviously make the market or demand for more beef, for more meat, which will in effect go for higher weaner prices. And we hope that will go through to the market.
We in the last few years had a lot of scares in terms of biosecurity. Foot and mouth disease absolutely hurting the industry here in and here out. And for me, from my understanding, I can't understand why from a private side we can't get together and come up with a plan to make sure that we stop this and we take control and not waiting for government to do it for us. I think it's imperative that we do stand together. From a place control, from your personal perspective, the moment we get our borders open, the beef industry will change overnight. Is there a future for us that you can see that we can actually open the borders, get rid of foot and mouth, or at least control it and know where our problem areas is and make sure that we restrict movement a lot better?
There's been quite a few talks on foot and mouth. We all know that. And at this moment, and we all know it too, government is not able to control foot and mouth. So you're quite 100% right in saying we need to get together and fight this thing. But foot and mouth for me is like COVID. It's not going to go away. We need to work around it. We need to get together and work around it. It's not going to go away. And I quite agree with you. We need to fight it. From place control point of view, we are fighting it as much as possible. We're trying to do the right thing at the right time. Because for us, it's an industry. We're not just here to take commission on every deal. We need to look after this industry. We're part of this industry. We're part of this chain. And of course, we see it as a huge part to do our part and to help with it. Yes.
You're getting all the tough questions now, Dirk, so thank you very much. That was quite a tough one. You can just hand that to Dennis. Dennis, thank you for joining us today. It's really been nice getting to know you in the past year. So you've been buying very good cattle. I think this is your first time at the Rhone, am I right?
Thank you for that. It's not for the first time, it's for the second time.
Sorry for that thing. Dennis, you've become part of the breed very quickly. You bought into the society. Just give us a little bit of background. What's the vibe like? I don't want to use that word. The vibe of the society. It's so important. You can see in the stud industry, if there's not unity within a breed, it falls apart. You've joined the breed. You've joined become a member of the board, and I'm guessing he did that because he liked the vibe.
Yes, and I would say the vibe is nice into the Limousin society, and I've seen that the growth of the society, because I look at the history when it started in 1974, and today I think we are sitting at about 86 members within the southern region, and out of that, 86, we're looking at about close to about 11,000 cars we have within the South Africa. And the vibe is nice because with the support you get from the Devlin and the Rhone, you can able to breathe and you can get education from them, and they're willing to assist you in anything you need as a new leader who's coming into the society.
Now, I know you've been fortunate enough to get great guidance from Aya as well as from Devlin or John Davenport, guys that's made a change forever in this society, and they're one of the legends sitting right next to you. But from your side, at what point and how did you come to say, listen, the Limousin is the breed I'm going with? Because at this point, 2 years ago, it wasn't the most popular breed in South Africa. What made that sort of change in your mind?
I think we just did a research, and when we see that the Limousins are animals which can give you more meat and can go to the deep bone side, and they can produce young winners which are more built. And when we did that, I approached the reports to see what animals can we go for, and we realized that the Limousin is the one which can go for.
So last question, the Limousin within your own farm, where do you farm and how does that Limousin fit into your farming plan or farm setup? Do you have a diverse farm? Is it just cattle farm?
No, it's just cattle farming. We are a start. We're not doing other things except the Limousins, and we are hoping to go as HA and the Davenport so that we can give the industry more push in the coming future.
Dennis, thank you very much for talking to us. It's been a pleasure, and I really do hope that you become as strong and as big and a bigger name in this industry as the guy sitting next to you. Hey, Aya, it's always a pleasure talking to you. It's always educational talking to you, but you've been a nervous man for the last 3 days. I see you running up and down and talking faster than the on a nest. But putting an auction together is a huge task. I know you started when the first one stopped or last one stopped. You always start planning in your head where things going, what you want to do, where you're going with this. The genetics that's available on this auction. Can you sort of just give us a broad perspective on how you chose what gets to go to this auction?
Tinas, thank you for the opportunity to share the conversation with these fine gentlemen alongside me. Thank you for your effort, it's greatly appreciated. I think regarding the offering and how we plan it and how we go to work, we are not situated within the heart of the beef industry, if I can call it that. We are not close to the neighboring countries' borders. We are, I think it's the furthest point to where any of our neighboring countries can go and source genetics, So that being said, I think our main thing is not what must we sell or what do we need to get off the farm. Our main thing is always value for money, and how can we add value, and I think that's the main thing, because that will put sustainability in what we do and in our system. And I know, because we are not 200, 300 kilometers from the other stud breeders, you can take a day drive out and come and eat like a steak at the auction and leave again and see if there's something they like or not. We don't have that opportunity. We are far. So in order to get people to leave their jobs and their businesses on a Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning and only return on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, it will definitely be a product and nothing else. So that's the main thing, and within that, then it is important that we don't offer 60 bulls and 30 of them out of the same sire. And it's a sire who also sire bulls that are previous sires. So to get the diversity is very easy, but if you get diversity in the pedigrees, but to have the animals fit for the job and have them built correct and have them developed, that's a total different ballgame. To get it over is easy. That's the easy part. Get them to look the part and to be put together properly. I think that is where the serious challenge is, but that's also the biggest opportunity for any of us as stock breeders. I think that's it. So yeah, we try to sell stuff that we want to breed ourselves with, and for us a massive honor to have repeat customers coming back. Most of our, I think all five of our biggest buyers of the previous auction are here again. So I think it's all part of the larger plan.
I'm going to run on that question, or that exit of yours. Getting guys coming back year in and year out. That's sort of the trick of the trade, isn't it? If you have an auction, if you have 20 production auctions or 10 production auctions, at some point people know who you are, what you sell, and what value you bring to the market. You're sitting there next to Jan's been here a few times, he buys cattle from you, Dennis bought cattle from you, well, everyone's saying back there has bought cattle in the past and they've come back. How do you ensure that people are happy with your product, they like what they buy, and if they might have a problem, you make sure that you help them and advise them to the best of your ability?
Well, thank you for the compliment, Ines. I think for us, the major thing is if we put up something like what we experience here, if the people don't come, it doesn't mean a thing. We don't have an event. We have no market to sell our product, and so that's the main thing. And I think from our side, we never try to sell cattle or sell animals. We sell genetics, but if I'm given the opportunity to be part of the plan, then that's an honor for me. So if I can form part of a customer which you call it, for us it's industry partners, we can have the opportunity to be part of a larger plan. I think that puts sustainability, and that's where value for money comes in again. And I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, value for money is the thing, and I think that's our biggest driver. To put one bull on the sale that everyone wants is okay, but that's not the thing. I think when we started in the early 2000s, we went to sales to bought stud bulls, and there's maybe one who had a sale, and if you don't get it, you have to be happy with something you don't really have, or you go a moment in hand. And I think from our side, we try to, I think at the previous auction we sold 22 bulls to stud breeders, and those 22 bulls were 17 different sizes. So to put the diversity in it and to give our buyer or potential buyer the variation, that if something doesn't fall into his budget, there must be a more than good enough choice 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. And I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, for those who don't know, this time of year it's lovely, it's green, it's rainy, it's cold, but come here 4 months later and you're right next to the hell. It's warm, it's dry, and you can't believe it's the same place. And a lot of people miss that. I know for certain you can't have 60 bulls running around, stud bulls around here. You can't feed it, it's not economically viable. So AI project is a big thing within your farm, how you manage it. So the embryo programs as well, because that is a more suitable and economical way for you to go forward. In doing that, how do you approach this, and how do you choose which sires and, for that matter, cows will be part of that, and how do you match them?
Well, that's a short question with a long answer. But I think from our side, we never cling on to bulls. There's always young bulls in the system that makes us excited, and I don't get too excited before he visits me, because he needs to put his blessing on it first. And then what we try to do is, if they're good enough, they must go out in the industry and they must go and work. I think Maserati is the only bull the last 15 years we kept on the farm for get older than 4.5, 5 years. The rest of them go. So that's the easy decision, because we know they're all going to go. all of them will pass this ring at some other time. We do achievement shares, and we use that. So we partner with the buyer of the bull and try and keep the genetics exclusive and try and use it properly. That's the first thing. And we use import genetics in us, but the imported genetics doesn't take us where we want to be. The local stuff is definitely much better. It's much lower risk, but we need to source or fish in different ponds to keep the diversity and bring characteristics. We're not going to find a balanced animal for Southern Africa environment, or maybe there is something there, but then I haven't seen it yet. Nowhere in the world, we bring in certain characteristics, and we use that rather as an ingredient in a larger recipe than as an end product. And when we are at the offstream 50%, we're not really where we want to be. When it's 25% from 12.5% from, I think then we are much better, because, and that's part of the selection. We need to color out and stuff. So we are always very excited before our breeding seasons. We put a lot of effort into our makings. You know, we discuss it and this and that. So we try to find a balance between proven genetics that we know can do the job, something that's the strong base, and then around that we use common genetics that give us a bit diversity.
Thanks, AJ, and I think from our side, good luck for tomorrow. I don't think you need luck, but yeah, it is an auction, and there's always stress, but I think Dean and your father as well, and the whole team, Andre, what his name there was, they can, the oldest bully on the farm, still glad he's around, and I can know the guidance they gave you and the way that you guys work as a family. It's great to see, and great to see that as a South African, how families can work together on a farm. Jan, I'm going to speak to you, and jump to you for that matter, all the way from Botswana, but South African born, if I'm correct, born in South Africa. But yeah, these days finding yourself there in Botswana. The way you approach stud breeding in Botswana a little different to what you used to in South Africa. You've got a little bit sun style, as they call it, I think. In certain parts, and other parts is very diverse as well. Just give people a background of what your country looks like, or your farms look like, and how animals must be able to survive, because I don't think people realize the tough area that you actually do farming.
Thank you, Peter's great honor to be here. Yes, I was born in South Africa, but actually grew up in Botswana. I was 6-7 years old. So yeah, we've been there a long time. It's quite a dry country, Botswana. So obviously the conditions is what it is. It's big farms, normally 6, 7, 8,000, 20, 30,000 hectare farms, and it's sandy. So obviously we need something that's walking for them. Right. So initially we started with my father, everybody started with Rhone cattle. And then we got to a point where we saw that, you know, we need a little bit more meat, because you have winners that you want to sell. Obviously we need something closer to 20 grand. And we couldn't achieve it. And at some point we actually bought a bull from Chris himself. It's also a breeder in Limpopo. And we saw what type of class came out of it. And that immediately made us think that, listen, this is the way to go. And that's eventually we started buying from Devlin and from Aya, and it changed the whole thing for us completely. Initially everybody was saying Limousin will never adapt to the sandy, dry conditions in Botswana. But I can tell you that the calves that we breed there is exceptional. The quality of winners that we breed is really doing it for us. And everybody's asking for that type of calf. So obviously the market for us as a stud breeder, and there's only a few of us in Botswana. I think we're about 5 or 6 registered breeders, lead breeders. And so we have to, our market is the commercial market. So I have to breed something that I can sell to my commercial breeder that he can really use in extensive conditions. If you look at the informal type of farmer, it's huge open areas where it's a cattle post, and you have that cattle have to walk 10, 15, 20 kilometers to actually get something to eat. So it's quite tricky to breed something that fits into that frame, because we were used to the Rhone that can walk quite far. And but ever since we started and we managed to buy the right type of wool as well to breed with, we're really getting there at the moment. And there's such a fantastic vibe in the industry in Botswana at the moment that we actually can't keep up with breeding in our product rules. And unfortunately, we're in a position that with the now in South Africa, that we cannot import stuff for quite a few years now from South Africa. So although most of our weaners comes to South Africa anyway, we sell it to the people in South Africa. But it's quite alarming to a certain extent that we start falling behind. The newest, best available genetics is suddenly can't put your hands on it, and it created quite a problem for us. So, and like always, I mean, this is the platform where we get what we want. This is the type of platform where we can come and buy the best quality tools available in the market, and actually take them out there and breed something that we can then present to our clients.
Jan, I've met you a few years back here at the Rhone. Last year we spent quite a bit of time at Bloom Show as well. How important do you think looking at breed showing is into understanding cattle? Yeah, you can come to an auction and learn, and you can. But I sat there with guys speaking about cattle, seeing what other people do, what their cattle look like, seeing what it takes to create a winning animal. And I think Billy will agree with me, maybe 10 years, 20 years ago, people were looking for the most beautiful animal. Today it's about the most functional animal. Yes, it needs to be correct, but firstly it needs to be functional. It needs to give you a calf every year. Otherwise, according to me, even at the show, they can't give that to you. Actually, your right hand is at the show at the moment. This is why you can't be here. Do you think it still has value within the market to do a Limousin show and an interbreed show to improve cattle or the beef industry for that matter?
Oh, it's absolutely important. I mean, well, we just had our national show in Botswana, in Rhone. And you know what the nice thing about it, I think it was the first time ever that there was more than 40 Limousins representing on the show out of 228 animals, which is exceptional. You know, it shows you that people actually see the value in a Limousin. And having a national show in South Africa as well, I think it attracts so many people, and it helps boosting that vibe and showcasing it for the younger generations also what can be bred. And obviously we are not all of us are showing. Most of us is basically just breeding for selling to customers. But the platform of the shows is always going to be good to show our animals and to attract new clients, new breeders. So it's actually important. I think it's actually important that we keep continuing with the national shows and more shows as well.
Jan, one last question before you go. I don't want to give any secrets of yours away, because I did listening to your chat this morning, so I know what bulls you're looking at. But the bull, you come back year in and year out to buy bulls here. They have to walk that distance, as you mentioned earlier, making sure that they fit. I know that you said to me this morning that they adapt, they do well, the animals that you buy from here. Is it just genetics for you? Is it the way they farm here? Is it the breed? What makes it possible for you to buy the Rhone year in and year out?
Well, obviously the breed, the golden breed is something special. I don't think there's quite a few breeds, obviously, but the golden breed is really, really special. And I think every single one of the people coming here is coming here with a passion for the golden breed. So obviously we all want the best and the biggest and the fastest bull available. But obviously the genetics speaks for itself at the end of the day. So yeah, we do look at certain genetics that we feel can breed the right type of cow that can then at the end of the day breed the right type of bull that I can sell commercially. So yeah, it's really, really sure.
Last question, we talked about how warm and how hard it is there in the sunspot especially, and if you know anything about cattle, if you want to lose fertility, heat will do that. Any guy in the milk industry will tell you that that's the first thing that goes in the heat is the milk production and fertility. And a European breed that comes from a weather system at maximum 25, you guys there, 25 is a winter afternoon. Do you have the same expectations of your cows there that they should calve every year? Do they adapt? Because the boards always say they only adapt if they give a calf every year, otherwise they didn't adapt.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have a proper calving percentage, you're not going to be able to make money. Especially. Hello. This is where the show stopped.
Hello, there we go. Can you still remember the question?
We actually went out for a drink, so. Yeah, it is. This breed for us is so important. So actually, what we want to do is we want to make it work. Initially, because we had so much passion for the breed. When we started, we were not sure. I had long chats with John Davenport, I had long chats with Oya. I had long chats with quite a few guys that was just doing normal commercial cattle. Just to try to find out, is it the right thing that we are trying to be in Botswana because of the excessive heat that we have sometimes? We have a 40-degree day is nothing for us, we're used to that. Actually, I had 2 or 3 pairs of socks on here. Out in the gate for the school. We're not used to this. So, and obviously, you buy cattle that's just this type of conditions. Take it back to Botswana. It takes a few months for them to adapt to get used to it. But once they get used to it, it's so easy to actually work with them that it's really, we never experienced any problems. Not even in a feedlot system where you Red Cross limousines that stands in the sun without any shade, day in, day out. We never experienced any problems. So obviously on the cow side, we definitely, we aiming also for about 80 to 85% calving rate. Obviously on the stud side it's much easier because we do a lot of AI as well. And so, seriously, we didn't have any we didn't have any problems. So it's a really, really easy adaptive breed to work with, and we're so happy to be part of it.
Yeah, I'm quickly going to ask you to just throw, oh yeah, I've got a question here that I didn't expect to have. But I also know that someone is trying to tell me to finish up, they want to go to the bar or something, I'm not sure. Jan had a very good comment that he made, they take a while to adapt. And I think a lot of breeders or commercial farmers for that matter miss the point. Yes, you can come here and buy the best bull, but you can't take it back and not take care of it. You need to allow it to adapt. You can't just from here throw it in the belt and hope for the best. It takes time to adapt. People need to respect that animal. It's like, I can't go on a diet tomorrow and just cut out everything. I will go in stress or something, I won't make it. Animals, the exact same thing. It needs that time to adapt. Do you advise your buyers and help them when they buy from your citizens? This is what we think in your area, how you should manage your bulls in that end.
Yeah, well, I think that's for us, right? It's so important for our customers to buy the right animals for their system. And you will never find two farms that's the same. But it is a massive difference if you go to pastures in George and you go to the Middelland in Botawil and you go to Botswana or whether you're in Zambia, it's not the same conditions. So that's why it's very important for us that the customer make the right choice. And that's why we, from day one, I think it's the 7th auction where Billy is with us now. But it's important for us to have guys like Billy, Martin Cypher, Marius Barkhuizen, to have those guys here who can advise the buyers. You know, I mean, it's not necessary that all buyers would want to approach me as the seller, which is 100% understandable. But that helped us, and I think that is part of the success, which we are thankful for. They were willing to pair up with us, but to help the customers to make an informed decision. Yes, adaptation is important, but the type of animal have a huge, and other animal is put together, in my opinion, have a huge impact on whether it takes 2-3 months to adapt or 2 years, or maybe not adapt. So I think that is important. But I must say, the last 2 to 3 auctions where we had the opportunity to ship the animals after the auction, and the client basically reported that vast majority are in it for the right reasons and they want it to work. It's not just a good experience on auction day, it's actually a tool that was going to do a job. And they wanted to try, and also, of course, everyone wants to take care of the investment. So why not do it properly?
Oh yeah, why not this? Actually, thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure. I can see everybody needs something to drink now. We're all quite thirsty after a hell of a discussion. Thank you very much, each and every one of you, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope everyone here enjoyed it, and everybody at home and sitting here not enjoying a little talk about bulls and cattle industry. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.